So you want to quit your day job.
I quit. I quit.
And make your living solely as an author in 2026. But you're not too sure how to do that. How to get from A to way down there with B. The secret is not just writing a book. I wish it was, because then I would be a millionaire. This is a business to everybody in the industry except for the creator. The creator's like, well, this is my baby. I've created this book. I love it so much. And while that is true, the rest of the world looks at this as a product that they buy and a business that they run. You have to do the same if you want to be professional in this industry. You'll hear plenty of writing advice out there that's like, just write what you love and the money will come. And that, frankly, is bullshit. Yes, you can write what you love, but the money doesn't necessarily come if you don't run your publishing part like a business. The truth is, the book market is crowded and publishing is extraordinarily competitive. And it is even harder nowadays than it was 20 years ago to get noticed and be seen above the crowd. As AI makes a bigger dent into the marketplace, it will also make it considerably harder to make a living as an author. But not all hope is lost. There's still a lot of things that you can do. First of all, you, yes, have to write a really good book, and it has to be well edited, and it has to have an appealing cover. You don't want it to scream self-published, because there's so many self-published books out there that are crappy that then people are going to look at it and go, oh, it's self-published. I'm not saying all self-published books are like that. Not at all. I've read some that are extremely well written and really, really amazingly done. But there are some that make it look like, ew, that's just somebody that didn't work that hard. You don't want to give that impression. It is very much worth your while to have the money to hire a good editor and hire a good cover designer. People that are experienced, that know what they're doing, and have created covers that make your book stack right up there with every other excellent book in the world. I'm a hybrid author myself. I've published 87 books in 24 countries. A large majority of them have been for the big five, but I've also self-published quite a few. And I know how much money goes into editing and professional formatting and professional cover design. I know it's expensive. It absolutely is. And I also know that it can be really hard to make your money back right away. So what you want to do is to start building not just a great book, but also an ecosystem so that you have that audience when the book comes out. A lot of authors are very introverted.
That's because she's shy.
They don't want to do anything other than write the book, and I get that. I would love to do that too. But part of what I'm doing here with the channel, with my community, with all of the other products that I have, like the Writing Compelling Fiction book and workbook, is I'm building an ecosystem so that that can support me financially while I'm writing the books. And that helps pay for the developmental editing, it helps pay for the cover design, it helps pay for all of that. I have also done all kinds of other types of writing at the same time so that I could make money that would, again, pay for all of those things that I need to put out a quality book. So I've done publicity writing, marketing writing, ghost writing, article writing. I've done a large variety of things. If you really, really want to have a full-time career as a writer, you have to accept that you're not going to be able to make a lot of money off of just one form of writing in general. The reality is, most people do not make enough to live off of on one book. You will see the anomalies, just as any other industry has, where there's one person that sold a book and sold 14 million copies and made a boatload of money. That is the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. Most people do not make a living wage off of a single book. So if you're going to make a career as an author, you need to write more than one book. And if you're the kind of person that takes 4 or 5 years to write a book, it's even harder to make a full-time living off of it, which is why I'm talking about writing all kinds of other things to supplement your income while you're waiting for that book to pay out. If you can write quickly, there are definitely genres that have a high reader demand rate. Those are the kind of readers that buy 5 or 6 books at a time. Romance novels are like 58% of the market, and that is basically any kind of romance. Romance readers are voracious readers, and they will buy 5, 10, 12 books at a time. I've had that happen in book signings before, where they bought one of every single book that I had out. So if you can write quickly, those are good genres to go into. Only if you love writing that genre. Because once you write one, if you're going to build a career where you're going to be writing 4 books a year or 10 books a year or whatever you decide to do, you're going to need to love that genre. Because writing more than one book of a genre you don't love is definitely not fun. Don't do it because you're chasing a trend. Do it because you love that genre and could write 100 books like that. I never thought that I would be writing as many romance novels as I did. I actually just got my 50 book award from HarperCollins a few months ago. You have to be a decent business person in order to be a full-time author. When I first started out, I was terrible about keeping my books. I literally had all of my receipts in a box, and I would just kind of hand them off to somebody at the end of the year and say, here, put them all into my accounting software. I had no idea where my money was at, what I was on profit and loss, whether I was upside down or I was moving forward. I had no idea because I didn't like handling that part of my business, so I basically ignored it. That's a good way to get in a lot of trouble with the IRS, which thankfully didn't happen to me. In general, you have to stay on top of your business and say, okay, how much am I putting out? How much am I bringing in? How is this working? And how should I adjust my plans to go forward? An indie author is an entrepreneur, and you need to treat it that way. You have to be self-motivated, you have to be aware of what your business is doing, aware of what the industry is doing, and aware of what your next move will be and the move you take a year down the road so that you can approach your business in a smart way and make smart decisions. If you're going to become an author in 2026 and make this your full-time job, you do need to start creating that ecosystem right this second. Not tomorrow, not 6 months down the road, not when you finish the book. You want to have an audience that is hungry for that book before it even comes out. And if you're not building your social media, not building your newsletter list, not building your website, then those things are not going to happen. People will not know about your book simply because you didn't talk about your book. I suggest building an ecosystem that is based on the world of your book. If you are somebody that writes small town cozy romances, for instance, then you want to create social media that is small town and cozy. Now, if you're writing fantasy, then maybe you can go into some of the lore of some of the things that you created in your book. People will sense that and they will want to follow you because they don't feel like you're constantly trying to get their money. Buy my t-shirts, buy my book, buy this, buy that. You're creating the world that your books exist within on social media. And by nature, that attracts people that like that kind of thing. Then when you start saying, hey, I've got a cover reveal coming up, you've got a few thousand people that are just like, I can't wait to see this cover. Now, that's not to say you got to sit there and put your makeup on and do a get ready with me every day, or say, here's my fit check. I don't do any of those things because I don't frankly think anybody gives a crap how I put my makeup on in the morning. I do think that my readers really like when they get a peek inside my inside life, like what my dog is doing, or how silly my cat is, and how ridiculously in love with my husband he is, because they relate to that. And it is very much like the small town settings that I use in my books. The most important ingredient of becoming an author full-time, though, is perseverance. You are going to get rejected. You are going to get one-star reviews. And I'm not going to lie, it's going to suck. It's going to knock you on your butt and you're going to want to quit because it hurts. You can't let that stop you. If I had stopped when I was rejected the first time or the 100th time or the 200th time, I wouldn't be where I am today. I was literally rejected at least 250 times, constantly getting rejected. I'd have here and there like a contest final or a contest win, but my desire to be a published author was stronger than my motivation to quit. And I just kept reminding myself that I could learn enough. I could get better at this. I could create something that readers would love. I just had to keep trying. The next time you think about quitting, I want you to take a deep breath and say to yourself, these are just words. They're not oxygen. I can live without them and I can write new ones. And then get up and write some more. Every single word that you write, every single paragraph that you create and scene that you create and chapter you create makes you more experienced and gets you closer to writing that amazing book that is going to take you from whatever your 9 to 5 is to where you want to be as a published author. And keep following this channel, because on this channel, I delve into what creates a really compelling novel and how you can do it too. I want to show you hands-on. This is what you do to take this from this to that so that you can do it as well. So tell me in the comments what you're struggling with the most to go from where you're at today to where you want to be and how I can help you get to that next level. And then join me on Fridays for a live stream where I answer writing questions and we do some writing prompts and writing sprints in between, because having that community of writers is really helpful. It's honestly the favorite part of my week. I love talking to you guys, hearing what's going on with you and answering your questions. And in the meantime, I'll see you on the other side of the page.